Welcome back to Hear What I'm Saying. Today's conversation is powerful. I'm sitting down with Arianna Howell, a licensed hairstylist and the founder of the Haircare project. Her journey includes homelessness, hair loss, and rebuilding not just her life, but her identity. This episode is about dignity, resilience, and the truth that hair is never just hair. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Hair What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Stewart. Today we have a special guest joining us, Arianna. Arianna, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, girl. I cannot complain. I lost my voice yesterday, but I got my tea. So we still
My
rolling
sinus
no
has
matter
been
what.
acting up. My sinus has been acting up. The weather changes has been taking me up and through, literally.
Well, I wish it was weather changes. It was me actually trying to practice how to use my diaphragm when I'm speaking. And since I was relying on my vocal cords, that's why we are here today. So, yeah, so, my speech coach, she's trying to teach me not to use my vocal cords because I use my vocal cords whenever I'm talking and speaking, so then I lose my voice. So she had me doing these
Mm.
sounds like, "Ee, ah, wow, wow, wow," as I was using my vocal cords, and here we are today, but I was like, "It is what it is. We're gonna keep it rolling. It is what it is. It's too late." How are you feeling?
I'm good. Besides the sinus issues, you can
Mhm.
probably hear my voice change throughout the recording, but I took a bunch of medicine last night, so we should be okay towards the end of the day.
Okay. Well, good. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get started with the first question. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Walk us through the beginning. What was life like for you before homelessness, before hair loss, and before the hair care project?
Yeah, so honestly, homelessness has always been like up until maybe like 6th, 7th grade, it has always been a part of my life in some like form of fashion. We always move from place to place and not really have any type of stability at all up until I was at a certain age. So what really kind of balanced that out is me like being with family, like them still trying to give me some sense of childhood during that time, just because like no child should be bouncing to like different homes and that's trying to figure out like we're in all over the city, like hotel after hotel, like no child should be having to deal with those things. So I still have
Mm,
like a sense of normalcy in a way with my childhood just by family giving me that. And hair loss, I realized like my family kind of does have like these trouble spots in their own hair as well. But my hair loss didn't stem from that. It stemmed from anemia, which is iron deficiency. And also stress as well. Stress will literally take your hair out before anything else. It's like it would take you out before anything else. Um, and just like before the hair care project, it was the stress. It was the iron deficiencies. It was the lack of confidence in myself. It was everything that you could think that a young woman, like I'm currently in my early 20s. I'm 24. So imagine all that on top of experiencing my early 20s. Just got out of high school, all those things. I graduated 2020. So that was like the peak of COVID. I didn't get to graduate. I didn't get to do all the things. So imagine that plus another 4 to 5 years of like trying to figure out where you at in the puzzle, in and out of school, trying to figure out all the things while you're dealing with these most difficult times of like not knowing who you are, lack of confidence. You're dealing with hair loss because of anemia and then stress. Like it's a thousand things that's going on. And
mhm,
so my life before the hair care project was just full of confusion. But
mm.
I feel like a sense of self came when the hair care project was born.
Okay. What was some of the instability? Why were you experiencing instability at the time?
Yeah, the first sense of instability came from just like my parents, which is like them like just trying to get a hold on life. There's no blueprint to life and how you do it. So like I guess
Mm,
they were just trying to figure it out. And then openly my dad just wasn't the best man during that time. And so a lot of that stemmed from a lack of leadership in the home. And even as an adult, the lack of leadership in my own life as well as I got into being an adult. and honestly wanting more out of life and not knowing how to get it, but, like, going about it the wrong way. So, like, I would, like, not I'm a firm believer in Christ, and so I would not consult God when I do things. I would just go for it and think that was it and, and go for it. It would just not sound counsel at the time around me to help me grasp what was happening in my life, and
Right.
so it was rough. So, most of the instability came from lack of leadership, lack of help, lack of guidance, lack of counsel, honestly.
Mm, okay. During that time, did you understand exactly what you were experiencing, or it wasn't until you got older and you really it became full circle for you?
Literally, it became full circle to me as an adult.
Okay.
Like, it just felt like a generational curse that I couldn't break at one point. Cause it was just like, "Oh my gosh," like, I dealt with this as a child, like, homelessness is not only being intense, it's a lack of stability. It's a lack of being in a stable environment. And, like, in no way I should be in hotels when I'm in, like, the 4th grade, bouncing between hotels in a different city. There's no way I should be all of a sudden, all 3 of us, including my mom, staying at my grandmother's house all of a sudden. Like, there shouldn't be any of that. So when I became an adult and I realized it was kinda like a cycle, I was like, yeah, we gotta break
Mhm.
this somehow, some way. And,
Right.
I'm thinking, being corporate America gets you to where you're going, but even so, even in this economy, that's not even true sometimes to get you out of
Mm.
a loop. And so I knew I had to if I just stay focused on God and He would direct me towards where I needed to go.
That
And so right
purpose.
now, yeah, that purpose,
Mhm.
that intentionality with your life will guide you throughout your entire being. And so now as I'm, like, walking through what God want me to do, these opportunities are popping up, and I know I have yet to see the greatness of what God has for me. And so now I'm just like, I feel like I'm on this brink of, like, breaking the generational curse of instability.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for sharing it.
Oh, of course.
When did hairstyling first enter your life? Was it passion, survival, creativity, or something else?
Oh,
Or
really?
all, or all the things.
Honestly, it's, like, honestly, all the things, to
Mm.
be honest, because when I first got into hair care, my sister grew her hair to her back, and I was like, "Wait,
Mm.
how you do that? How you do that?" And so, like, I'm looking at her, I was like, "Girl, you look good, like, let me copy
Mhm.
you or
Is
whatever,"
she
and
older than
then
you, or is she
uh-huh,
younger?
it's my
Okay.
oldest sister,
Okay.
Khadijah. Yeah, she grew her hair to her back, honey, and I was just like, "Ooh, girl, let me see what this about." And so I kinda just gained into that, and then in ninth grade, I wanted to have my own, beauty supply store, so I just started to niche in my field and just started to, like, do extensive research, collaborate with, like, people who already have their beauty supply store. I started doing market research in my high school and all the things, so, like, I've been, like, in the beauty field for, like, 10 years, a decade. On my
Mhm.
birthday would be a decade. Um
Congratulations.
Thank you,
That's a
thank
long
you.
time for your age. That's a long time. Yeah.
Literally a long time,
Yeah.
and so from there, I ended up starting my own beauty supply when I was in the 12th grade, so that was
Mhm.
2020. And from there, I left Mississippi State because, like I said, it was peak COVID. We thinking we all supposed to go to college and do these things. Yeah, I've never been a college girl for real. Never been a college girl. I love education, but my type of
Likewise.
education I wanna know. Like, I don't wanna do the 4 years. Thank you. Um, like, it's a long time. And so I went to natural hair school instead. And so from there, everything is kinda like peaked for me. I was like, "Ooh, yes, like this is what I love to do. This is
So
what I love
you
to."
went to a natural hair school. You didn't go to a cosmetology school. What was the name of the
Nope.
natural hair school you went to?
The Institute of Beauty in Bartlett, Tennessee.
Wow. I was only familiar with one that's in Phoenix, Arizona. Are you familiar with Essence Atkins? I mean, not Essence Atkins, Essence Farmer. I'm so sorry.
I never heard of that.
I featured her on the podcast. It was November 2024 for sure. And quite similar. She did go to college though, and I believe she became a nurse, but she still wanted to do hair. But she
Mm.
did not want to attend a traditional cosmetology school because they did not offer the classes or the
Exactly.
curriculum that she wanted to specialize in, nor did it require a certification to have it done because
Exactly.
she's not
E
processing hair and,
Mhm.
like, processing hair chemically or whatever the case may be. She's just really teaching what we've always learned how to do. And unfortunately, that's not really offered in cosmetology schools across the board. They're finally
Exactly.
trying to incorporate natural hair care in these curriculums, but during that time,
Mhm.
they had none. And she just was not invested in trying to spend all that money
Okay.
and, become licensed in a field that she already was pretty much the expert in, and it also did not give her what she needed. It was just a waste for her. So she filed a lawsuit against, Phoenix, Arizona, the state board of Phoenix, and she won, and so she opened up her own school to be able to, cater to people like you, that want to only specialize in natural hair and not be involved in all the other things that comes with being a cosmetologist. So when you mentioned that you went to a natural hair school, I'm like, "What school?" Because I'm only familiar with one, and it's called the Rare
Wow.
Essence Academy. That's the only one I'm familiar with. So to know that it is trying to grow and
Yeah.
evolve. I'm really happy to hear that, when I started doing hair, natural hair was not the thing. It just wasn't.
Mhm.
It became the thing like 2 years after I got my cosmetologist license.
Mm.
So I did go through it. If I had known what I know today, I would have never spent like
Definitely.
$22,000 on a
Yeah, yeah.
curriculum that didn't really teach me a lot, of what I do
Mhm.
now or what I did. So, yeah, so when you mentioned that, I'm like, what's the name of the school? Because I don't know any other school besides the Rare Essence Academy, so I was just very
Yeah.
intrigued by that, so,
There's
yeah.
so many that's popping up now. It's
Mm.
truly amazing. It's
How long
it's
was the
it's
school? How long was the school?
um, it was literally like a semester type of timing. So it was like $3,000 in 3 or 4 months of your time. And I was at
Yeah.
and I did it at night. So I would
Mm.
get off work and go to it at night.
That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that is growing and all the states or the state board of cosmetology in different states are allowing it,
Mhm.
especially if they're not offering it. You know, it's like
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no problem going to cosmetology school, but it has to offer what I want to do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a
Mm.
lot of money to shell out with cosmetology school, like 20 bands.
That's a lot.
That that's a lot.
Sure is, especially when they're not teaching what you want to learn and know.
And that's exactly I was like, "Baby, I don't wanna know nothing about no nails, baby. I'm not
Yep.
doing 20 grand for no nails, sorry."
Skincare, all of that. I knew I only was gonna do hair. So, to have to learn nails, to have to learn some, aspects of skincare, it was a waste of my time,
Mhm.
genuinely.
Okay, okay. And I was telling people, like, skincare and scalp care is just they
Yeah,
go hand
yeah. I remember
like
we talked about that in the pre-interview. Yeah. Mhm.
mhm.
For sure. You cut all that hair off. What you think is underneath there?
Nothing but skin, baby, nothing but
Nothing but
skin.
skin. It's just different because hair provides the texture. And don't get
Mhm.
me wrong, like, we have texture in our skin, but it's a different type of texture when you're dealing with follicles and then you have just bumps and maybe some
Yeah.
acne and some pimples. Of course, you have to treat it accordingly, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's skin, you know?
Exactly.
Mhm. No, for sure. During that time, how did your relationship with yourself change?
Ooh, so like I said, I didn't really know myself at all.
Mhm.
I was suffering from such a lack of confidence because I knew exactly who I wanted to be in this life, but I'm just like, "Dang, how did we get there?" Like, I just feel so low. I feel
Mm.
so like low vibrational, like, spiritually, I was at my lowest. It was just like, "Oh my gosh," but I know, when 2022 is when my life kinda pivoted. Um, I gave my life to Christ. I ended up getting a Christian mentor who is now my sister, my friend in this lifetime.
Mm.
They will having a life of Christ will give you a new life,
It will.
period. Period.
Mhm.
And I wish people can get that, like, when you get dipped in that water, baby, you don't even have to get dipped in the water. All you gotta do is believe and you get a new life. Like,
Right.
literally, all you gotta do is believe and you get a new life.
Mhm. Mhm.
But also having, like, sound counsel and women who have already like, all my friends are in their 30s,
Mhm.
literally. So, it's so refreshing to have women to pour into you and tell you you're worthy and like you're on the right, you're on the right path and all these things, like you start to look at yourself different because your circle
Mhm.
changed and then what you are putting inside your body as in words, diet, and all the things. And also I started to work out as well. I was almost 200 pounds. My body couldn't keep up with myself.
Right.
And then I had to
Mhm.
change who I was at that moment. I was a high functioning depressed girl. Like I was just
Mm.
going through life high
In
function.
survival mode. Sounds like
It's
survival
survival
mode.
mode,
Yeah.
1,000%, and that's all I
Mhm.
ever know my entire life. 'Cause I seen my mom go through it, I seen my sisters go through it. Like, gosh, when is anybody gonna get to a point to where they're no longer in survival? And
Mhm.
so, it's hard to shake that type of entity off you because it's a spirit for sure. And I'm
Yeah.
like one of those people, like, I believe everything's a spirit, low key, low
Mhm.
key.
Yeah, me
And
too.
so, when you're carrying that negative energy, it's like, oh my gosh, like everything just is so different. And so when I started to shed the weight and I started like also body dysmorphia is a real thing. So you're thinking you one size and you're really another size, like
Mhm.
that impacts the mental health on its own. And so
Mhm.
as I started to encompass God in my life, I have wise counsel, I'm working out now, and I'm
Mhm.
starting to eat well. Everything just mindset-wise has start to just change. And
Mhm.
as a person who deals with anxiety, where you're not fueling yourself with the right food, you're not sleeping and stuff like that, all that causes chemical imbalances as well
Right.
to the mental health. And so it who I was before, which was like 4 or 5 years ago, is so different from who I am now. And
Mhm.
people in my life are starting to see like, "Oh my gosh, Ariana, you have changed so much." Like, I have changed so much. Like, the woman I am now, I'm super proud of.
Mhm. Yeah, survival mode, it has its I always say it has its gifts and its curses. You'd be surprised some of the things you can do in survival mode, and then when you're not in it, you look back and be like, "How did I even survive that?"
Yeah.
You know? You can grow and evolve into a different person like you did if you are open to it, or you can just
Yeah.
stay in survival mode and life will always consistently be very challenging and very hard, and you can make some really impulsive decisions in
Mhm.
survival mode if you're not careful, and sometimes it
Yeah.
work out, sometimes it don't.
Mhm.
But,
I'm
I
grateful for those moments, though.
exactly,
I'm
yeah.
really grateful for those moments
Because look at
because
you
they
now,
taught me. Yeah, like, it
Yeah.
really taught me so much. Like,
Mhm.
it taught me that even when the going is rough, man, somehow, like, you still come out on top. Like,
Right.
it really don't matter
Mhm.
what you're going through. At some point, it's going to end, and just knowing, like, that is not the end. It's
Right.
never the end. And even though
That's
it
right.
feel like crap
It can
going through
oh
it, it
gosh.
does. It feels like
Yeah,
crap going through it,
it
boy. You
do.
be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, when is this season gonna end? I'm done. I don't wanna deal with this no
Mm.
more."
Mm.
But and some seasons last longer than others. But man, I'm grateful because it taught me so much skill sets. Honestly, the skill set that you learn
Mm.
in survival mode, man, you take
Mm.
that for the rest of your life, honestly.
Mindset too.
Yeah.
I tell my kids now today, I always say, life is gonna life. It's gonna happen. I don't
Mm.
know when it's gonna happen, but that's just if you're here, it's gonna happen to you. And that is the time
Yeah.
to lock in. That is not the
Okay.
time to, "Oh, I feel so bad." It's not the time to feel sorry for yourself. It's just not, because that's when you
Exactly.
start feeling sorry for yourself, that's when you make all the wrong decisions. You get
1,000%.
involved with all the wrong people, and then
Mhm.
you're peer pressure to do things, and then you are so vulnerable that you may participate, and you're not at your best self. So if you're
Yeah.
not vibrating at your highest, you're gonna participate in the low. So
Yeah,
that's the time
yeah,
to, like, isolate and go, or you can go like, you have a community, you have a sisterhood now. If you are ever feeling like that ever again, you can go to them, you can talk to
mhm,
them, and they can give you sound advice on how to move forward and possibly help. But before you didn't have that, and if they don't have that at that time, I'm like, that is the time to isolate,
yeah,
be still,
mhm,
and figure it out. That is not
yeah,
the time to just go party, try to participate in some new drug, and now your life is altered completely different from
exactly,
one bad thing. And all you have to do is that's the time to lock in with God. That's the time to trust that this is just an experience to help you evolve. That's all it is.
absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
just it's an opportunity to evolve. That's literally all it is. And if you accept it as an invitation, then you already know on the other side of this, I'm gonna come out a warrior, like literally,
Okay, okay,
with your armor of God and all those good things.
okay,
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. So now we're gonna pivot and start talking about hair loss and identity.
mhm.
When did you first notice you were experiencing hair loss? I think you may have. Did we speak on that? I know you said what it contributed to, but I don't think we talked about when.
I think it was around maybe, like, 2023, maybe 2022, so,
Dang,
like,
look at
we're
your hair now. You have so
you
much hair.
know, first off, I'm recovering from, like, cutting my hair twice in 1 year, like,
Okay.
I when I lost, like, 30 additional pounds, like, I
Mhm.
literally was like, my fullness of my hair, let's cut off dead weight. We already lost dead weight, let's cut off dead weight, and so
Right.
I was just like, I didn't cut my hair was probably to, like, bra strap
Mm.
length. I cut it right here.
Oh
I cut
wow.
it
Was it
off.
liberating for you to like cut it off?
It was amazing. I
Yeah.
loved it down. I loved it
Mhm.
down. There was no crying with it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, this fits me in this season."
Yeah,
And,
for
like,
sure.
when I
Yeah.
say, like, the fullness of my hair at the time was not
Mm.
contributing to my face shape, cause like, when you lose a lot of weight, it like, your face shape changes and everything
Right.
like that. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, we should cut it. We should cut it. Why not?" And so
Yeah.
I cut it, and then I cut it again on my birthday, a day or 2 after my birthday.
So you experienced it around 2023? The hair
Yeah,
loss?
around
Okay.
2022, 2023. Mhm.
Did someone tell you or did you notice it? Like, did you go to a hairstylist and she told you, I see that yeah, walk us through that. Tell us about that.
Just because I am a licensed natural hairstylist, I already knew. I already
Mm,
knew. Once I started to see these gaps in my hair, and, like, I started to, like I would, like, brush my hair, and, of course, like, when it's large strands, it's, like, shedding, but when you
mhm,
see that breakage and you see these cutoffs or whatever, or these little pieces coming off your strands, that's breakage, and then even, like, at my corners, my stress spots or whatever, like,
mhm.
that's where your baby hairs are, but, like, also at the same time, stress spots are everywhere depending
That's
on
right.
you know, who you are and, like, your family, because like, mines are hereditary, so, like, we always have it right here.
In the temple
But
area.
yes,
Mm,
yes, and so, I just knew and my hair started to get really thin, like, my hair is already fine, but when I say thin, thin, like, you can brush
mm.
my hair, you still see so much scalp, and I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
something is
Mhm.
wrong. And, I had went to the doctor to go get tests done, see my levels, and my iron was completely low.
Yeah.
We're not talking like, us of course, they like to sometimes compare you to cancer patients, so cancer patients lack the iron, so they get iron infusions. Um, so, usually after that, I was just like, "Okay, what do I need to do?" And they was just like, "Well, we need to start putting you on iron supplements." I couldn't stomach the iron supplements, and so I had to get iron infusions instead. So it took about, like, 4 rounds of iron infusions for me
Mm,
to get back to the health that I needed to be at. But
mm,
recovering from anemia, which is iron deficiency, that takes
mm.
years to recover from. It
Yeah,
does.
I'm actually experiencing it right now.
Mm,
But I've always experienced it my entire life. I never had the infusions done, which is what I am more interested in because I'm like, get in
mm.
the blood and go straight to it, you know?
Yes,
I
yes.
couldn't also stomach the pills.
Yeah.
And some people were saying, like, I remember my doctor, she prescribed stool softener. She was like, because it's gonna stop you up. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
ma'am, it did the reverse for me. Like, it didn't stop me up at all. If anything, I was going on and on and on to the break of dawn. And I said, "I'm not taking another one of your iron supplements, honey. You better figure this out because I am not doing it no more."
Baby, them iron supplements, like, it made me wanna
Mm.
throw up. I was just like, "What's going on? What's
Yeah.
going on?" I just couldn't do it. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, go ahead and shoot up in my veins, baby. I don't care. Just come on."
Yeah, I'm really considering that because of I need it, or else, but
Mhm.
I cannot do the pills. I tried
Yeah.
2 different kinds and it did not work. Are you familiar with Mary Ruth?
Yes, I'm familiar. I don't like the liquid. It's
I actually
nasty.
don't mind the liquid,
Mm.
but it did not work. I it did not work, and so when I see people promote it, I'm like, "Okay, now I'm wondering if you just paid to say that it works." Um,
Mm.
yeah, but I did the iron one, and when I went back to the doctor, she said, "Nothing has changed." And so I wrote Mary Ruth to let her know, but oh, yeah, because she's expensive.
Oh, she
That's
is.
that's an
She is.
expensive liquid, honey, that don't work. I'm like, "Yeah, I need to let
True.
her know." I don't know if you need to set out some disclaimers, but, for my iron to be the same as it was originally and it did not improve, I don't know if that's something you need to do with your laboratory. Figure that
Okay.
out, but it didn't work. I was
That's
highly upset because,
crazy.
to me it was so many Black women promoting that
True.
vitamin, specifically around hair growth, and you know how it
Yeah.
is for Black women that want most Black women are very invested, not only in hair care, but also growing it long, and it just kind of felt like a marketing situation to me, but oddly enough, I was turned on to Mary Ruth by a fellow hairstylist. She wasn't
Mhm.
going viral at the time, TikTok got a hold of her.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
it just felt good to finally see it somewhere else besides her recommending it. And
Yeah.
then, I felt even more secure or, yeah, secure about moving forward with the purchase, only for it to not work, but hey.
And see, my confusion is why are we so obsessed with trying to prove to people that black hair can grow?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's why are we
Yeah.
doing that? Why are
Yep.
we doing that?
Because it
It
can.
can. Why are we trying to
Yeah.
prove it for? Why are we
I
so worried
don't
about hair
know.
growth when we need to be worried about hair health? Because that's the only way that junk can grow. Like,
What would you say?
why are we doing that? Why are
That's
we
the only
doing
way it's gonna grow, baby. Only
that's the
way.
only way.
Yeah. D What to do with it once it has grown. We don't talk about that enough. We always talking about it growing long, but no one is really obsessed with or committed to doing everything you need to do to keep the length. I will say that, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It's definitely not like straight hair at all.
at all.
No, it's not. It's a lot of work and you have to carve out the time if you want to learn how to do it, and that's just what it is.
And it is what it is, but,
Mhm.
like, once you change your relationship with your hair and make it more towards, like, a ritual, a self-care routine, and, "Oh, this
Mhm.
is my loving myself time," like,
Yep.
"Imma put on some R&B, some soul, Imma have some candles lit, we gonna start brushing this junk from the ends to the roots," like,
Yep.
once you start to treat it like a real, like, self-care love thing, like,
Mhm.
it's
It's the
you gonna love
mindset.
to
It's
it.
the
The
mindset.
mindset.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the
stop looking
mindset.
at it as a chore. It's not a chore, it's
Mhm.
you. You're taking care of you, just like you go get your toes done, you go get your nails done,
Mhm.
all the things, it's the same thing. Like, you
Yeah.
have to care about it.
Yeah.
You have to care about it.
I know someone mentioned it's this guy named Isaiah Frizzle. I listen to a lot of his podcasts. They're more around, I guess you could say like therapy,
Mhm.
lifestyle, maneuvering through, difficult relationships, etcetera, you know?
Mhm.
And he did mention in one of his podcasts how self-care can sometimes be exhausting. I
Yeah.
will say it felt good to hear that because I do
Mhm.
get exhausted sometimes from self-care. But when
Yeah.
I'm but not as much as me doing it. It's just every
Yeah.
now and again, maybe it depends, like, I could be probably on my period or something like that.
Yeah.
It's always a contributing factor as to why I don't wanna do it. It's not
Yeah.
me when I'm completely whole in myself, you know?
Exactly.
And it just felt good for that to also be validated and put out there, like, I know self-care can be exhausting. Some days you wanna skip not putting the shea butter on your feet today, or, you do wanna skip a skincare routine because it can become a
Mhm.
lot sometimes, especially depending on what the regimen consists of, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be 90%. It should be
Yeah.
like 10% of the time you like, "You know what? I'm not doing nothing today," and that's gonna be the
Okay.
self-care.
And you're
That's
welcome to do that. And
that's
you're welcome
right,
to
and
do
that's
that.
gonna be the self-care, but it should not be the majority at
Yeah.
all. You feel me? It
Exactly.
it it should not, but I had to put that out there because there before I listened to that podcast, I used to feel weird about, like, I just don't feel like doing self-care today. I don't wanna
Yeah.
do anything. But
Yeah.
listening to him made me feel validated. So I just wanna put that out there so no one would feel pressure, like, I'm tired,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what you're saying is absolutely right. But sometimes it is exhausting to keep up with the labor of women's self-care.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got put on to all the layering and the body oils and I'm like, "Woo, Lord, by the time you get done, you in that junk sweating, like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
and you
it's a lot of
feel
work."
good,
I
you
feel
feel good.
great.
Yeah, yeah,
However, comma, that
yeah.
labor of love,
That's the perfect way to put
labor
it.
of love.
Labor of love. Yes. If I couldn't describe it any better, I think that's like the perfect way to
Yeah.
describe it. Yes, absolutely. What did losing your hair do to your confidence and sense of identity?
Whew. It made me feel absolutely you know, I had to change what I felt about myself a lot during that time. At that time, I did have a partner, so he was like, trying to instill in me, like, "Oh, you're still beautiful, like, you still look good or whatever." But
Mm,
nothing beats the voice inside our head whatsoever. And so I just, like, I feel like I was like bald head. You know how we'd be like, "Oh, you're so like, I'm bald headed, nah, nah, nah," which is like
mhm.
far from the truth, mind you. But
It
like
is.
when we go through things like that, it's really just like our self confidence and our self esteem goes to a unnoticeable low until we realize we were already there. And it's
Mm,
when you wake up one day and you look in the mirror and you like and you just your shoulders drop because you just like, "Oh my gosh, like, how did we get here?"
mm,
And sometimes when life be life and you just going throughout the life and you just doing the things and you don't even realize, like, your routines, and then you finally sit down and you look at your stuff in the mirror after your routine and you like, "Wait, how long has this been happening? How long have I felt this low?" And, honestly, therapy helped a lot for me.
mhm.
Um, Also just me telling myself, like, "Okay, all it takes is for you to literally do something different with your hair. Because depending on the density of your hair in certain times of your life, it will change. It will change as you get older, and
Right.
a lot of things change as you get older with your hair, so
Yes.
learning
Ah,
it's a constant learning thing
yes.
all the time, mind you. Even when the
Yeah,
seasons change, baby, don't think you're running away from something because it's gonna catch up to you. So, really just having to relearn myself and also
Mhm.
relearn my hair and be patient with it and to love it at its current stage. Sometimes we don't love stuff at its current stage because 'cause we're just like, "I'm not happy with this."
And we're focused on the goal you
Yes, we
know,
focus
of
too much on the girls like, "Oh,
mhm,
I want this long hair. What happened to it? What happened to my volume? What happened to my density?" But, like, oh my
mhm.
gosh, like, once you're so focused on that, you will literally hate where you at right now.
You sure
And
will.
so,
Mhm.
loving the stage you in is not an easy task. Let me remind you, it's not an easy task. I'm not saying that lightly at my mouth.
Mm.
Loving something that somehow life destroyed is hard. It's hard.
Mhm.
It's
It sure
so hard,
is, yeah.
and it took so long. I'm not gonna lie, it took
Yeah,
so long.
it's a process. Anytime you experience hair loss, man, it take a while for it to get back, to where it was, and sometimes it don't, depending on, what's going on because hair loss comes from so many different things,
Yeah.
whether that's cancer,
Mhm.
rapid weight loss,
Yeah.
like Ozempic, a lot of my clients
Yeah.
that, were on the Ozempic shot, they lost a lot of hair. We could not figure out what
Mm.
was going on because the Ozempic thing was so new.
Mhm.
And they lost it just as much as they lost that weight, just as quick as they lost that weight, they
Yep.
lost that hair. And I say that sometimes it grows back differently, and sometimes the density changes, especially with a
Yeah.
cancer, survivor. And just you have to be, like you said, be happy where you are and accept where you are and be grateful for where you are, because if
Yeah.
you're focusing on something the idea of where or what your hair can be,
Yeah.
then in reality, you're never gonna be happy. Never
Exactly.
gonna be happy. Yeah.
And India already said it best, we are not our hair.
Yeah.
So, our hair is not who we are, that's not our identity. Like, yeah, it adds to it, but it's not who we are. If we was to lose our hair today, who are we going to be? Who are we?
I'm
So,
glad you
like,
brought that up. Keep going.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
cause when I was losing my hair, I'm just like, people have always known me for my hair, no lie.
Mhm.
People have always known me for my
So
hair
they
in
made
high
that your
school.
identity.
Low key,
Yeah.
low key. They made
Mm.
it my identity, and that was new me as a light skinned girl with long hair, and we already
Okay.
had this whole thing going on from, like, slavery of, like, light skin versus dark skin versus
Right.
brown skin, long hair versus short hair, da, da,
Mhm.
da, all this
Yeah.
generational crap that has
Yeah.
encompassed the Black community was already hard enough to go through on its own.
Mm.
So, when I went through my hair loss and then I ended up, like, cutting my hair, I was just like, "Oh, okay, like, now I have to figure out who I am
Mm.
again without the long hair."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the short hair was just last year, so, like, I was still the same person, but when I first initially had to cut my hair because I was just losing too much hair at one time, my hair had
Mm.
got too thin, I couldn't do it no more, I was just like, "How do I navigate this new season? How do I
Yep.
navigate it?"
That's all you
And
can do.
that's all you can do. It's like, how
Yeah.
am I gonna navigate it? But also knowing, like, how am I to tell other women as they sit in my chair that your hair is beautiful when I'm not saying that to myself?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
do that, I can't be no
No.
hypocrite, and so I'm
No.
just like, these are constant lessons, like, I love the one thing I love about being behind the chair is that you can change somebody's life just by having them sit with you for an hour and a half,
Mhm.
literally.
Yeah, you can.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally, and so that joy that I get from educating and just telling somebody they're beautiful with the way out their hair or with the way out their hair length that they're looking for, and you don't have to have this loose texture to be beautiful and all these things, like, not only does it uplift them, we end up crying, but,
Mm.
like,
It's very healing
yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
very intimate experience.
Yeah,
It's a
it
very
is.
intimate experience, and I feel
Mhm. Yeah.
like in the beauty industry now, we're missing that connection a
Yeah.
lot now, but also because we're in this wig and weave industry now, like, as we transition from wig and weave back into natural hair,
Mhm.
there's nobody's really let me not say nobody, I use that loosely, but there's nobody actually caring for the hair underneath the wigs and the weaves. It is
Mhm.
somebody putting needle to braid, and we just doing what we doing.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody just see a money grab out of it. Like, yes, we
Mm,
love the weaves, but they're supposed to be protective styles. Protective styles are no longer protective styles because we keep doing these crazy things to our hair, and we do it 10 months out of the 12 months that we
mhm.
of the year
Yeah,
and thinking, "Oh, we're protecting our hair." Like, no, like, at some point, it's no longer protective,
no,
and we
yeah.
like, why are you keeping your braids in for months? And I know life be lifing.
Mhm,
I know sometimes the braids gonna have to stay in for another month. It's cool. But at
mhm,
some point, after 6 weeks, they're no longer protective whatsoever.
mhm, yeah.
That
Yeah,
point,
that's why that
straight.
protective style, to me, I really use it loosely because
Yeah,
it can easily not be,
yeah,
protecting your hair, and the reason why it's not because you're not allowing the hair to get the number 1 moisturizing agent, which is water. Like, you're not shampooing your hair, you're not cleansing it. But the misconception is they see length.
mhm,
And so in their head, it is protecting their hair, but the hair is severely dehydrated. So when they try to
yeah.
wear it out and they want to wear silk presses, they're trying to figure out why are my silk presses not lasting? Well, your hair is dehydrated. You know,
Hello.
yeah, like,
Hello.
why is my hair breaking? Well, your hair is dehydrated because you have not allowed it to get any water, you know?
Exactly.
So, but in that moment, it's like, oh, my hair done grew, so I'm doing something great, you know? And you
Yeah.
can use it, but it's all about balance. You can do it, but you have to be conscious about, like you said, how long are you leaving it up? What treatments are you receiving when you take it down? You know, are you even
Exactly.
making sure you're getting protein and moisturizers and all the things, trimming your ends? Are you taking
Yeah.
care of that? Then you can see real results. But yeah, there's a huge divide and a disconnect in the community when it comes to all the things that we do with our hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is, one thing I do love about us is we can do it all if we want to, you know. You can wear it
Yeah.
curly, you can wear it straight, you can wear it with weave, you can wear it in braids. Um, however, you can wear it in a fro, like whatever you want to do
Yes.
with it. That's what I do
Yes.
love about us. But to what extent, you know?
Yeah.
Because at some if the goal is healthy hair, sometimes it's not their goal, believe it or not. Done
Exactly.
I've done
Exactly.
clients' hair where that's not the goal, style is the goal. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
artistry is the goal, they wanna look
Okay.
different, so it depends on the goal for sure, but I wanna go back to when you were talking about, the India.Arie song, "I Am Not My Hair."
Mhm.
When you brought that up, I featured her name is Rashetta. She, suffers from alopecia, and I actually
Mm.
used that song whenever I had introduced her to the podcast.
Wow.
Um, but I've been doing a lot of studying on Black hair history, and I did learn like our ancestors, like Africans,
Mhm.
we were our hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it gets tricky because hair is not committed to us. Like any
Yeah.
sign, like I said, Ozempic, cancer, you neglecting it, it will fall off. Like
Yes.
it's ready to pop off. Like it is
Yes.
not committed to us at
Yes.
all. It does not have the loyalty that we give it to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I've been doing a lot of that studying, and I did learn that it was deeply a part of our identity and culture. Because it classified you in different tribes. You know
Absolutely.
so if you wore your hair, I'm still learning, but I know in
Mhm.
specific braids, the way how you wore them classifies you in this tribe, and it
Mhm.
also could mean that you're pregnant or you're about to get married or
Yeah.
it was a lot of things that they used hair for to identify with culture. And then the
Yeah.
culture got erased whenever Europeans came over to capture the slaves. Or you know how that history is context. It's so many different ways
Yeah.
that it is explained. I'm still learning all of that
Yeah.
stuff. and they shaved our heads intentionally because they knew that was our way of communicating and it
You
was our
can.
identity and it was our culture. So it's like, well, let me shave the hair and let me mix y'all up in different tribes. And now y'all don't even speak the same language. You know,
Mhm.
forget the
Mhm.
hair. Now y'all don't even speak the same African native, you know.
Yeah.
So I know for sure, back then it was a part of our culture, but to what you said, um, we're not our hair. And in order to have a healthier conversation, not conversation, but a healthier experience with yourself, with your hair internally, you might want to find some disconnect
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
event of it not, wanting to stay
Yeah.
on your head,
Yeah.
because we're not operating like that now. you
Yeah.
know. But I think it is important to highlight the context of the importance of it back then too, you know.
Yeah.
But different times will cause for changes to happen and for you to maneuver throughout life differently. Even when I was looking at some of the hairstyles back then, even if they were losing their hair, they still made way with what they had.
Yeah.
It didn't identify them in a way of, if you're losing your hair, you're no longer beautiful, or you're no
Right.
longer even accepted in the culture. It's like, we're gonna work with what you have and we're gonna keep it moving.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been learning a lot. So, and it's really interesting when we have these conversations and we start learning from each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much history, honestly, like, we was able to I know during slavery, we would put routes on our hair
Exactly,
and
yeah.
braid it, and that's where our way to escaping, and going back
Yes.
to when you said when women was losing hair and we would make do what we do, we was
Yeah,
adding hair pieces and stuff like
yeah.
that to, like,
Mhm, yeah.
blend your hair with another piece of hair, and now,
Mhm.
like, it looks like your hair, and now you
Right.
can go about and have confidence in what you have, even if you lose the
Mhm.
hair and all the things
Yeah, and they were not obsessed with length.
at all. Baby, a
No,
big
they were not.
split, a 27 piece,
They
hello.
were not. It was deeply about culture. The hair was about culture. It was not about, oh, the longer it is, the more feminine you are, the more accepted you are because it's long. Because we
Mhm,
do, as Black women, have this obsession of retaining so much length and growing it long today.
mhm,
But that's just not how it was back then.
yeah,
So I just had to bring that back up, just for the listeners too, just in case they are tapped into learning more about Black hair history and having
yeah,
to add that context to have this conversation of how things have changed and hair has
yeah,
evolved in a different kind of way. And I think the healthy part about back then opposed to today is they were not as obsessed with length. And if you were losing your hair, it was not this no longer rite of passage to belong,
right, right.
you
A lot of
know?
now it's just European standards, a lot of it is a lot of social
Mhm.
media as
And that's
well.
where the evolvement came from,
Yeah,
European standards.
yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Every generation is so different when it comes to hair in general. I used to have women in a beauty shop with pixie cuts or they would have like waves and all these things. And now it's just like we're only worried about the longest of the longest, 30-inch
Yeah.
bust down, da 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 da. And I'm just like,
Yes, the
y'all, like
30-inch
be
bust
for
down is
real.
definitely it, okay.
Like, not my twang. But
Me either, yeah.
like at the same time, it's just generations are changing, but
Yeah.
we also with change, we need to also know our history and why that's
Exactly,
so relevant to
yeah.
today on why we need to be embracing exactly who we are.
Yeah, exactly. 100%, I agree with you there. So now we're gonna talk about, your purpose for the hair care project, your baby.
Yeah.
I will say whenever we started following each other, I was heavily inspired by what you are doing because I'd never seen a hairstylist create a nonprofit
Mhm.
organization for hair care. You know, there
Yeah.
are it's different because you're actually offering services, you know.
Mhm.
And now that I'm not no longer behind the chair, I've realized I had so many reasons why I didn't wanna be behind a chair. But the
Okay.
real reason was charging for something that I love to do
To
just
do. Yeah.
humbly. I just wanna help, Black women take care of their hair and also have a healthy emotional connection with it. And it felt bad to charge them all the time for something that I just genuinely wanted to do. And then when
Yeah.
I saw you doing it as a nonprofit, I'm like, "This girl is amazing." Like, that is the dopest thing you could ever do and give back, to the community in that way. And I was so inspired. And I was like, "Yeah, I gotta follow this girl because she is on to something that I ain't never seen before." And it's uplifting, is admirable, and it's just helping, just
Yeah.
helping. That is like real, true help right there, you
Yeah.
know? And so, yeah, I'm just a fan of what you're doing. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And how was the hair care project born?
It was born through a therapy session in real life. I'm
What?
not I'm not even playing. I'm
Oh
not
gosh.
even playing.
Okay. I know we're cutting it close on time, but come on, walk us through it.
I'ma make it short and sweet. My
Mhm.
therapist, I was telling her about the hair loss. I was telling her, like, um, at the time, I was trying to find a job. All I knew was slick back buns. But, of course, when you wear slick back buns a lot, it also breaks your hair off a lot,
Sure
and
does.
so I couldn't afford hair care products at the time because, of course, I didn't have no job. I was focused on debt and all the things, and so I'm just like, "Dang," like, I wish, like, somebody had something. And my therapist was like, "Fool, that could be you." I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
right. Maybe." And I was
Yeah.
just like, "Okay, maybe we can talk about this." Like, that was earlier in that year. By the end, towards, like, December, I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm actually gonna do this." Like, when
Yeah.
I was at a more stable mental capacity to where I can take on more, because you never wanna start something where you don't have the mental capacity for it.
No, you don't.
Um by the end of the year, I was already planning that next year in February to do something, and that's
Mhm.
how I started through a therapy session. My therapist was like, "You can be what everybody else need because you needed that."
That's
And
right.
so,
Yeah, and
that's
you
what it
hear a
started
lot of
from.
stories inspired in that way. It's
Yeah,
you need this one thing, it's not there, so then you become
yeah,
the thing, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah. Because during that time, I believe when I read that you were having a hard time affording the hair care products for your hair, correct? And that's
yeah.
also what inspired you to, move forward with the nonprofit, which I've never seen nobody do it that way. So, I was like, "This girl is onto something." She also helped me realize you and also a social media post where it said, if you turn your hobby into a job, then you probably need to find a new hobby because then that hobby will no longer feel like a hobby. You may
Mhm,
not even enjoy it no more because now it's
mhm.
an obligation. And
Yeah,
obligations are not fun. I don't care what nobody say, you know.
1,000%,
They're not
1,000%.
fun. And so pairing what you're doing to what they said, I'm like, this is why I no longer enjoy doing hair behind the chair no more. So both of y'all helped me with that. So kudos to y'all. Oh gosh. Can you share a moment from your nonprofit work that confirmed you were exactly where you are supposed to be?
It was actually last year, we were, holding a event to where one of the transitioning homes here in Memphis is called Ladies in Need Can't Survive.
Yes.
We took women from that, transitioning home, and we did their hair for the day. And, they was able to go to work with, like, brand new hair, braids, all the things.
Mhm.
And, even before, the way I get sponsorships is that people donate their space or they donate hair care products or like mostly everything I do has been free to me and the people,
Yes.
1,000%.
Mhm.
So all glory to God for that.
Yeah.
But I knew I was exactly where I need to be
Mhm.
when before we started their services, we prayed in a circle and I'm getting emotional. Whew, Lord help me.
Aw, it's
We
okay. It's
prayed
a
in a
real
circle.
experience for you.
Woo! We prayed in a circle and just, hearing the women's stories on how they, survived what they went through and just, like, the way I was able to pray for them in that moment and pray for the businesses who poured into being able to do such things to provide professional services in that moment.
Mhm.
I pray for every single sponsor that year during that circle. I pray for every single person in that circle and the people who was donating their time. Hairstylists that I have known for a long time
Yeah.
poured into those women that day. And so it really just confirmed. I'm like, okay, like I'm exactly where I need to be. And man, God would use you. God would use you for whatever
Mhm.
he chooses to use you for. So that day, it really just like I had to keep going no matter how it felt, because it felt impossible leading up to it.
Right.
Just so much stuff started to happen. You start to experience that warfare and them problems.
Yeah.
But man, once I got in that moment, oh my gosh,
Locked in.
honey, logged in that day. It was
Yeah.
truly amazing.
Good. I did not know that at all, so thanks for sharing that, and that's a
No
beautiful
problem.
story. Now we're gonna talk about reflection and encouragement.
Yeah.
What did hair loss teach you about, your identity or about identity?
Um, Hair loss definitely told me that what was lost can also be found again.
Mm,
Um, Even if you have lost yourself in the season or you feel like you don't know yourself at that time or the case is, you can always find yourself again. You can
right.
always get back to the basics and grow and learn more about yourself than you did before.
Mhm.
Like, just like your hair can grow back, you can grow.
That's
You can
right.
grow back even better than you was before.
Yeah.
And so relearning yourself even during hard times, like, you will learn that even then, you're exactly where you need to be, and
Yep.
just like the hair loss is for a season, you not knowing or forgetting yourself is only for a season, and it was unintentional or it may have been designed to be that way for you to grow into an even better person, and, it's like sowing a seed, like, once you sow a seed in one season, you see the fruit of it in one. It's just definitely that type of.
Mhm. I love that. If someone listening right now feels invisible, ashamed, or defeated, what would you say to them?
Mm, I would definitely say, even if you feel like you're losing, you're never losing. Um,
Mhm.
Everything is exactly how and what it needs to be.
Mhm.
Um, Keep focused on what you desire out of your own life. Um, you're never losing, and I keep saying that because my mentor said it to me during a season where I had lost a lot, and
Mhm.
that was just in 2025. I lost so much in
Mm.
2025, but I gained so much at the same time,
Mhm.
and, she told me, "Ariana, I need you to understand you are never losing with Christ whatsoever. When you
Right.
walk with him, you are never lost. You are like, even if you feel like you are lost, you're not lost. Even when you
Mhm.
feel like you're losing in life, you're not losing. When it feels like life is too much to handle, it's everything is happening at the right time, at the right moment.
Sure
And
is.
so, just be encouraged and know that, like, this is not the end. This is just only the beginning of your beautiful story that has yet to come to the end. So,
Mhm.
just keep going, just keep
Just
going, and
keep
continue to be
going.
lifted. Yeah.
Just keep going. That light, I don't care how narrow it look at the other side of the tunnel. It's there and it's
That
waiting
little
on
speck
you.
you see,
Yep. Yep.
that's your new beginning.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, amen
That's
to
your new
that, honey.
beginning.
That's your new beginning. I know you have a project, well, I know not necessarily a project, but an event coming up, correct, this month in
Yeah.
March. So
Yeah.
how can people support the hair care project? Can you please let us know how we can support you?
Yes. We actually have 3 events in the month of March. We will be, March 14th, we'll be supporting the Miss Black Tennessee USA pageant in Nashville. They're having a Readjust Your Crown event at the Open House, y'all, in Springfield, Tennessee. Y'all can sow a seed through there or sow a seed through me, which is my website at thehaircareproject.com. We'll also be having a Cuts and Confidence event on that 21st. That's where young men can learn how to cut their own hair. We'll also be giving away free clippers during the event. If y'all can also sow a seed to that through the website, or you contact me directly, or if y'all know of any barbers who have partnerships with clipper companies, please let me know. We would love to continue to give away clippers as well. So y'all can also
Mm.
just hit my DM. It's always open. And
Hey.
the last event of March is, I believe it's the 27th, that Friday. We'll be giving back to University of Cincinnati's, Bearcat Pantry is where I used to work. The Bearcat Pantry was a pantry where they give out, like, free food and hygiene items to staff and students on campus who couldn't afford to get it on their own. So it was
Mhm.
only fitting where I can donate hair care products to them as well to help the POC that's going there, because literally 98% of the demographic at that pantry is Black and brown people. And
Okay.
so I was just like, "Okay." And they was complaining about not having shampoo and conditioner. I was like, "Wait, I got y'all, wait. I know somebody perfect, which is me." So,
Yeah.
like, I got y'all. So, we'll be donating at that time.
Okay, good.
If y'all have any way to sow a seed or y'all wanna donate physical products, please just hit me up and we can sort something out.
Okay. And how can our listeners find you and follow you? Shout out all your social medias, your
Yeah.
websites, and anything so that they can connect with you.
Yes, so my website is www.thehaircareproject.com. That's where you see all our upcoming events for the month of March. We'll also be doing a Curls and Confidence summer series. So we'll be traveling to different cities to teach women how to do their own hair, giving
Mm.
away free products, educating, living on the women, us doing our thing. Um, Also Instagram, the underscore hair care project is our Instagram. We'll also be updating everything through there, through flyers, posts, all the things. You can also see our sponsors for the year on there. LinkedIn is just my name. It's Arianna Howell. You can also find things on there as well. I just started doing LinkedIn for real. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
cute and all. It's different. It's different
Yeah, it's
over there.
very
So
different. Yeah, it is.
it's a professional service, y'all. So it is my name is over there. I was told to also do the hair care project as a LinkedIn separate LinkedIn page.
Mhm.
But once I have the capacity to do that, I will let, my social medias know. But, I'm focusing on one platform at a time.
Yeah, for sure, because it's a lot. It
It's
can
a lot. It's
to juggle it all.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it can. And I will make sure to add her socials in the show notes so that y'all can have that information to connect with her. Until next time, thank you so much for your time, Ariana. We really appreciate you sharing your journey and your story. I'm truly inspired. I admire everything that you're doing for the community. And I can't wait to see what you have in store for it years on down the line because it sounds like this is going to be an ongoing project.
Yes, yes. Thank y'all so much for having me. I'm super blessed to be in y'all connect for real.
Ariana, thank you for your transparency and your heart. Your story reminds us that beauty is not about perfection, it is about perseverance. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And be sure to support the Hair Care Project and the work they are doing in the community. Until next time, this is Hair What I'm Saying.